Good evening and welcome to the Solo Gamers Club. In tonight's video, we're going to discuss a few of the titles that I'd like to bring to the channel in the coming months. We'll begin by discussing our campaign playthrough of Shadows of Brimstone. We left off the campaign with Sheriff McMaster having traveled to the Hellmouth, where he'll go it alone to solve the mission of Fistful of Darkstone. I've noticed that we've seen the same hazards several times during the campaign, and I feel it's time to add some additional variety to the mechanic, so I'm creating a table of additional hazards. I'll likely combine the new hazards with the existing hazards and create a single table, probably a D100 table. We'll return to Shadows of Brimstone campaign as soon as the new table is ready to go. Overall, I'm satisfied with the campaign rules as a whole. The Overland system adds narrative to the overall story of the campaign, which was my mission from the start, so I'm happy with that. However, the unexpected loss of Dakota has put a struggle on my remaining character to obtain enough money to keep himself supplied, plus acquire hirelings to help him during the missions. The Overland supply rules are a constant drain to the hero's assets, and to some extent this keeps the posse honest and forces them to watch their dollars closely, which is realistic. However, the untimely death of Dakota has drastically changed the direction of the campaign, and I'm considering crafting a rule that would allow for the creation and insertion of a new hero into the campaign in the event of the permanent loss of a primary character. Set during the 18th century colonial America, A Touch of Evil is one of my favorite board games of all time. It literally drips theme. In the game, the player controls one or more investigators that have come to the town to investigate a slew of murders and supernatural events. As they explore Shadowbrook and its environs, more and more of the story is revealed as the researchers gain investigation tokens and valuable equipment. Once the investigators track the villain to its lair, the story will culminate in a showdown in which the investigators will enlist the help of town elders in a battle for the control of the town. In the playthrough that I'm planning, I'll feature all of the expansions and card supplements. One title in my collection that I would like to get to the table is a as yet unplayed game of survival horror called Camp Grizzly. The game takes place at a summer camp and features a quintessential mask-wearing homicidal maniac named Otis. The game includes all the stereotypical 70s slasher film tropes, which should create a very entertaining narrative. I was fortunate to have purchased the base game and the 5 expansions from Amazon before the game's producer mysteriously went dark. Since that time, the game has become a bit of a holy grail for those that wish to have it in their collection. The game should generate a ton of fun and campy horror narrative. As viewers of the channel have likely already inferred, I'm a big fan of Flying Frog Productions titles. I really enjoy the storytelling elements that their games offer. An older title from their catalog is a game called Conquest of the Planet Earth. In this game, the player takes on the role of the aliens as they battle against forces of 1950s America for control of the world. I have the Apocalypse expansion along with all the card supplements, which I will include in the playthrough. The game provides a campy narrative that parallels the classic science fiction movies from the 1950s, such as The Day the Earth Stood Still and It Came from Outer Space. Set during the zombie apocalypse, Dead of Winter and its standalone sister, Dead of Winter The Long Night, is not a solitaire game per se, but it lends itself well to solitaire play with only minor changes to the rules as written. I have the multiplayer expansion Warring Colonies, but I failed to find a method of effectively integrating it into a solitaire setting. I've not officially played the game, so we will learn this game together as we play. A title from my Avalon Hill days is Dinosaurs of the Lost World. The game is based on the 1912 book The Lost World by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and it creates a classic tale of discovery and adventure on an isolated plateau in the Amazon jungle that's infested with dinosaurs. The game was released in 1987, and it offers a unique mechanic that tells the developing storyline. Diving into the post-apocalyptic world, we have the title Fallen Land. The game combines the elements of an epic strategy board game with card building and some light role-playing, along with a series of macabre stories of a world gone mad, and all inside a sandbox style of play. In the game, the player takes control of a Mad Max-type colony of survivors that must fulfill one of two victory conditions, either increasing their prestige to 20 or accumulating 80 town health points. The prestige represents your personal reputation as a leader, while town health would be representative of the town's prosperity and its total number of citizens. The game has a strong pulp influence, but its theme is rooted within Cold War tropes. Set during the time of ancient China, Ghost Stories is a cooperative game in which the player attempts to defeat the evil spirit of Wu Fang and his legions of ghosts before he discovers his earthly remains and becomes unstoppable. I have the expansions White Moon and Black Secret and will include them in the playthrough. The Black Secret expansion was intended to allow a player to control Wu Fang, who's normally managed by the game system. However, the elements of this expansion are extremely fun and thematic, and I think they can be included in a solitaire playing with only minor changes to the rules as written. Based on the Jules Verne's classic novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Nemo's War tells the story of Captain Nemo and his astounding ship, the Nautilus. Set in the year 1870, we assume the role of Captain Nemo as we sail the seven seas in an amazing electric-powered submarine and undertake breathtaking missions of science, exploration, anti-imperialism, and war. Police Precinct is a cooperative game where the player is tasked with solving a mysterious murder while simultaneously working to keep crime on the streets under control, thus keeping the city from falling into chaos. The player commands a group of police officers, each with different areas of expertise. The player must solve the murder mystery by collecting evidence that is scattered across several locations, and then arrest the suspect before he manages to flee the town. I have all the expansions, which I'll include in the playthrough. With the 40th anniversary of the conflict coming this May, Where There Is Discord is a solitaire game that allows the player to command the British forces during the 1982 Battle of the Falkland Islands. The game system controls the Argentinian air, ground, and naval forces. The game is a bit of a holy grail amongst gamers, and I was fortunate to live in the same state as the exclusive US distributor of the game, so this allowed me quick access to a copy of its final third printing. Well, that's about it for now. As we close, I'm eagerly awaiting the restocking of a game that I just became aware of, called High Frontier for All. The game was, in its earliest form, released back in the late 90s and has since gone through several reissues. In the game, the player assembles a rocket and attempts to colonize the solar system by exploring and then constructing factories and space stations on and around distant planets, moons, and asteroids. The map is a genuine work of art. The game is a highly accurate simulation of space travel that requires the calculation of power, thrust, load, amongst other things. Currently, the base game is supplemented by 3 expansions, with a 4th rumored to be in development. However, this game is not for the lighthearted, as players have given it one of the highest weight ratings of any game on Board Game Geek, a massive 4.82 out of a possible 5. From the videos I've seen, it's an experience that's worth the effort. Well, that's about it for now. Thanks for joining me on this brief channel update, and I hope you visit the channel for future videos. Happy gaming, and take care.